what needs to be done to encourage the young and to educate them about the right kind of entrepreneurship? One of the serious points which Ullas made is that, when icons like you get created, everybody feels that, with a website and a little bit of money, we can sell anything online to anybody, right? So, but the real world where the actual products are made, nobody wants to go and make a new technology or a hardware product, which requires
I don't think so. I think just because we don't hear, just because we don't hear of them doesn't mean they don't exist, right? We have 50,000 merchants on our platform, out of which 30% are first-time women entrepreneurs. They were never in business before. Many of them have started creating their lines of clothing, which they're getting manufactured in Surat or Banaras and then selling online to other women across the country. What else do we...
So they're not just traders. You're creating people and enabling people to become entrepreneurs and manufacturers.
Absolutely. I think building out the supply is going to be a very critical component of our country. But it's not like people are not doing it. Just because they are not on the front page of Economic Times doesn't mean they don't exist.
Yeah, but let's not talk about one newspaper, but the general sense is that all of us get glitter in our eyes because we see these fancy valuations and it's about IPO and who's getting what compensation. It's a very human trait. Upasna, you said that, I don't want to sound shallow, but for a lot of young people, the perception is all that glitters is gold, all that looks beautiful is fantastic. Anything which is ugly, dirty, filthy, smelly, stay away from it.
That's not true. Whatever is ugly, dirty, smelly, we will make it beautiful. That's what we'll do. That's what young people will do now. And about appearances and all that, I think it's very important. The only reason I said that was to present yourself correctly, because I think life is running at such a pace that it doesn't give you a second chance. So be prepared to face
present.
the first.
Looking good is not just about physical beauty. It's also about having all the trappings of a successful life as soon as possible. And that's something which the young are criticized for, that you don't want to work hard for 15 years to get what you really deserve. You will leverage, you'll mortgage, you'll do everything to get what you want right now. Is that good?
I just think that I want to tell you, so I had a niece, and she's 3 weeks old, and her mom is using flashcards so that her mind develops. So I think we'll get to the same place, but much faster, because you guys have worked and we've learned from the experiences of how to make our minds work faster and become more productive.
We had a poll, and I thought I saw 75% people feel that the youth do actually have the capability and the strategy, but still 25% people feel that the youth really can't achieve much. So, Ullas, the point of educating and helping the young realize what true entrepreneurship is, what kind of enabling mechanisms are required so that they can go beyond the glitter and all the glamour that they see.
Entrepreneurship is not something which you can educate anybody. It's a passion. It's like how you fall in love. You can't teach people that how to fall in love. If they fall, they fall. So entrepreneurship is something, a person who feels that he has to have everything for himself. And I define entrepreneur as a person who goes home to come back to the office, and I see an employee go to the office to go back home. That's the difference, and that's the C difference. An entrepreneur is a person who works to pay other salary. An employee works to get his salary.
You're sounding anti-employee now.
No, not at all. Not at all. I'm not like that. But at the end of the day, Jyoti is successful for the simple reason that every employee believes that he is a part of the entrepreneurship. If he thinks that he's an entrepreneur, then you have an enterprise of entrepreneurs wherein success you can take it as granted.
Thank you. Kunal, you said you started because you started with Naivet, right? Mm-hmm. Naivet allowed you to get into something which, if you were older, you may not have got into. When you are actually older, would your risk-taking ability be lesser? Would your Naivet still be around?
I think at any point in time, at some level, I'm and as I said, old guy in our current company also, I think at any point in time, you need to know what have you gotten better at and what have you gotten worse at. And at least as long as, at least my hope and my wish is that I don't lose that self-realization and humility, I think that will be most important, whether I'm 40, 50, 60, or 80.
Upasna, what do you want to be doing when you're 40?
Oh, God.
That's the average age of the room, so I'm sticking with that.
Okay, when I'm 40, instead of making people sit on gym balls, I'll make them meditate before they come to work.
What do you want, what do you think young people should learn about entrepreneurship? Which do you think is still lacking?
Well, young people should learn not to run the race and not so fast, because we are very ambitious. I'm looking at myself as an example. I'm really, really ambitious, but sometimes I feel if I just take one step back, I'll be more productive. So, I feel that we have all these thoughts and ideas, and we look at everything as a business opportunity. But, take one step back, and then everything will fall into place by itself, and we'll become more successful.
So how do you convince your colleagues who are also very young to starting to adopt a thought process like this?
Well, it depends what field they want.
Because there is the energy which is driving change, but at the same time you want to control it and say that, pace it out.
Okay. So I have this problem, and people have been with me in my organization. They say, because I run a magazine, Be Positive. So then I said, I came to them one day and I said, 6 years, I'm bored of this. Let's stop printing the magazine and let's just go and create an app so that it's available free. Our advertisers will be happy, everyone will be happy. So it's just that and they calmed me down and they said, you know what, let's take a step back. We're actually making money off this. I think everyone needs to collectively put their ideas together, and then we'll reach a stable platform.
Yeah, that's a good point. You use the B word, which is boredom, which I think seems to be driving all the young kids. I have a teenager myself, so I won't even begin on that. Thank you very much for joining in this session.